of the concerned GeM coordinators. So once it is verified, then it will that the particular GeM coordinator names and the details of the GeM coordinators will be shared from our end to the GeM team. Automatically from our system, it is system integrated. The system is integrated with the GeM. So once you will verify the identify and verify the GeM coordinators, automatically the details of the name of GeM coordinators for each level, as well as the other details that will be what you will identify, that will go to the GeM team. So this GeM coordinators verification is the uh, one of the important activity to be done. Unless it is verified, the GeM coordinator details will not be shared with the GeM team. This is the key point you have to remember. Unless you have verified the GeM coordinator using the OTP, mobile, or and the email ID, the details of the GeM coordinator will not be shared with the GeM team. Then there is a provision for the edit of GeM coordinators also. Like suppose I am the GeM coordinator for the state or the district or maybe block, and my mobile number gets changed or my email ID gets changed. In that case, there is a provision to edit the GeM coordinators details using the same interface under the state nodal officer login. So they can edit the mobile numbers. He can edit the mobile number or the email ID. Similarly, in the place where the concerned person who is functioning as a GeM coordinator, he is transferred from one location to another location, or he has resigned from the SRLM. In that case, there is a provision to state nodal officer can remove the GeM coordinator, and he further identify another person as a GeM coordinator for that block or district. Then there is a provision to view the GeM coordinators list, like at the nodal officer level, that he can view the list of GeM coordinators at the state of the state, district, and the blocks under his login. So these are the activity the nodal officer will do. I think everybody is now clear how to. I think almost all the states they have started identification of the GeM. Few states maybe the certain.
Okay, sir.
I will take the question. Just wait for the second. I will take up the questions on this. So this identification at the GeM at the state level by the state nodal officer. This is one of the important activity to initiate the onboarding of SHG or the individual in the NRLM MIS prior to the uploading of products in the GeM. So the identification, at the time of identification, I think when we have started, there are few points you have to I want to remind here. The HR details when you are entering, like maybe few states they have already the HR details, and the few things like date of birth of the members, earlier it was not there, because these things it is being discussed with the GeM team, and it is requested by the GeM team that one of these kind of date of birth or maybe date of joining, this kind of like a date should be there to proceed further to log into the GeM. So that is why this date of birth in the HR details. Any issue?
Requesting all to please mute your mic.
There is a noise. Please mute your mic. Those are not talking right now.
Shantanu, you may please unmute yourself.
Yeah. So this is one of the important activity I told. So identification of these GeM coordinators at the state level, it will be done. This verification of GeM coordinator, what I told, this verification of GeM coordinator for the state and the district, it will be done by the state nodal officer at the state level itself. But the verification of the GeM coordinator, sorry, block GeM coordinator, we have kept it open at both the level, at the state level and also at this block level. Respective block level also, they can log in and they can verify their mobile number and the email ID. By logging into the system, they can verify the through the OTP whether the OTP is getting into the mobile number or not, or the email ID what they entered, that email ID they are getting or not. So once they will verify through the OTP received on the mobile and the email ID, then the there is a noise. There is a continuous noise. Please mute your mic. Those are not talking right now.
Google Meet ke on
So at the state level, the state GeM coordinator can have this following activity. Like the state GeM coordinator, he can see who are the GeM coordinators. Like after a verification or who is verified, who is not verified, that can be seen by the state GeM coordinator using his login. And he can also see which SHG, how many SHG has been registered, and for which district is being registered or which block it is being registered. He can see that also, like how many as a SHG members as an individual, how many numbers has been registered, or how many SHG has been registered for under that particular block or that particular district. That can also be seen by the state GeM coordinator. These are view rights with the state GeM coordinator state login. Then similarly, at the district level also, he has the rights. If the district GeM coordinator has the login credential, then he can see who are the GeM coordinators for the state, district, and block. And also, he can view the like details of SHG or the individual. Those are registered under the, and those are basically identified by the block GeM coordinators in the system. Similarly, the block GeM coordinators, what are the activity he will do? Like one is the verification, as I told, the verification of GeM coordinator through the OTP received by the GeM coordinator in mobile and the email ID. That activity has to be done by the block GeM coordinator. This activity can also be performed by the So then this block level, the GeM coordinator verification can be done here. Then the registration and identification of SHG and the members for which the product to be uploaded on GeM. The first activity of identification of SHG and the members. This needs to be decided at the block level by the GeM coordinator in consultation with the state and the district team, which are the SHG products which can be uploaded on the GeM. That needs to be decided based on the products which can be sell under the GeM platform. So this is identification of SHG and the members. Once they have gone and seen the details of the products, they can identify the SHG in the system. And once it is identified in the system, there is also a level of verification at the time of identification of the SHG or the members, like using his email ID. The OTP will be gone to their email and mobile number, and once the OTP received and it will be verified, then only the details of the SHG and the members will be shared with the GeM teams. Just like for the GeM coordinators, as I told, after identification and the verification, the details of the GeM coordinator will be shared with the GeM team. Similarly, for the SHG also, at the block level, when the block GeM coordinator will identify the SHG or the and verify through the OTP received in the mobile number or in the email ID, then only the details of the SHG and the members will be shared with the GeM coordinators. Unless the SHG, single SHG or the single individual being identified and verified at the block level, the details will not be shared with the GeM team. So this activity to be done by the block GeM coordinator. So registration means here we are referring that identification of the SHG. Once you identify the details, like from the drop down from the list of SHG available in the NRLM MIS master list, you can select the SHG name and the member name based on the products available with them, that as I told. So once you have identified, this verification level is another important things. And maybe certain cases the individual SHG member or the SHG may not have the email ID, but the block GeM coordinator has to facilitate for this. He maybe support them to create an email ID for them. If it is not there, then that is not possible to register or identify the SHG or the members, and you will not able to upload the products for that SHG or member in the GeM platform. So this is another key points to remember at the by the block GeM coordinator. They have to identify the SHG and the member, and also needs to verify through the OTP received in their mobile and the email ID. If any SHG or any member does not have the email ID, the block GeM coordinator needs to create in their name one email ID or the for the individual as well as for the SHG. And in the later stage, suppose any SHG, their account details gets changed, or the email ID or the mobile number gets changed. In that case, the block GeM coordinator, on the request from the SHG or the members, they can edit the details of the SHG or the individuals. So this is another important activity. You all should remind this. The account details is also important for the individual or the SHG, because the account details here, what you are registering or what you are selecting at the time of identification of SHG and member, the same account details will be used for on sale of the products. By receive the funds and they receive the amount on sale of the products, it will come to this account number only. So that is why you have to, the block GeM coordinator has to be carefully look at the account details of the individual or the SHG at the time of identification or registration of SHG or the members. This is another key points to recall for all the block GeM coordinator. So these are the following activity to be performed by the block GeM coordinator: the registration of GeM coordinator, identification and verification of the SHG or the individual members for which the product to be uploaded on the GeM, and edit provision is also there. That edit provision means that edit of account details, address, or the mobile number or the email ID of the individual member or the SHG as a group, that can also be done. And there is, in that identification process, we are also identifying the contact person name and their contact numbers. Like for the on behalf of the group, if group leader or maybe the president or maybe the secretary or one of the members is the contact point for this particular GeM activities to be handled, means the sale of products or the receipt of orders and or other things, that the contact person needs to be added at the time of identification or registration of SHG and members. So these are the basically activity to be done by the block GeM coordinators. I think if you want, I can share with the screen details now. This is the like at the time of the state nodal officer login into the system, he will be able to see these are the activity as I explained. So these are the links what I have discussed. Using the same link, the state nodal officers can do this following activity. Like for identification, he can see, like for, you can take an example. This is for Karnataka. This one districts, the details of the district GeM, the date of birth is not available. So anyone from the Karnataka can see why this date of birth is not there. This date of birth of this particular district level people, for this Bagalkot district, they can like update in the HR mode. So any mobile number or the email ID for the GeM coordinators, they can edit or update in the HR module. I think this nodal officer for this MIS, they know where to identify, sorry, where to edit the HR details under the respective district login or the block login or the state login. There is a provision of HR details that, and they can go to that HR details. They can edit the details in anything not updated. Then date of birth is also similarly they can update it here. Then similarly, for the verification of the GeM connector, if you look at here, the verification of this block, sorry, this district GeM connector has been done. This email ID has been verified, and the number is also verified. The state nodal officer he can see if it is verified or not. Then the like edit of GeM connectors, you can see here in the screen the details of the staff and the mobile number and email ID. Both this edit option is available. You can edit and update the mobile number and the email ID of the GeM connectors. And then removal of the GeM connector also you can do, like by this option you can remove any of the GeM connector who is not currently functioning as a GeM connector, but earlier it was done due to this transfer of the particular staff, or maybe like resignation of that particular staff. You can remove that staff, and you can identify the another staff as a GeM connector. This is a continuous process. You can continue for in future also. Then another thing is that the GeM connector details. You can see here using this option, the state nodal officer can see for which level, which district or state or block, and who is the person identified as a GeM coordinator, and their details, contact number and the email ID. So these are the screens basically. Now the state GeM connector, like other than the state nodal officer, this is there is a state GeM connector. The state GeM connector also see like who are the GeM connectors for district, state, and block. Now here, like instead of state, you can select for any of the district or any of the block to see who is the person functioning as a GeM connector for that particular district or block. Like this, you can see for all the districts and all the blocks. Here he can see for the respective district and the then the GeM registration details. In these options, the state nodal officer, the state GeM connector, the state GeM connector can also see which are the districts or which are the blocks they have identified their GeM coordinators, and how many SHG being registered or maybe identified in the NRLM MS, and how many SHG member as an individual entrepreneur has been registered in the in this module to onboard their products in the GeM portal. So this is the state level activity the state GeM connector can do. He can drill down this the list what we are seeing, the numbers what we are seeing, that he can drill down to the district, then block, then the respective particular SHG or the individuals. He can see it here. The state GeM connectors who are functioning at the state level, if you don't have any user ID to log into the system, please ask your MIS nodal person to create one user ID in your name, so that you can also log in and you can see these options what I have shown here. Similarly, at the district level, the district GeM connector, these two options are there. You can see who is function is a GeM connector, and the details of the mobile number and the email ID you can see, and whether it's verified or not verified, that can also be seen. And the details similarly here, he can see the block wise, how many SHG or how many individual members as registered here, and he can see the details also. by the district GeM coordinator. Similarly, at the block level, the block GeM can have these three activity. One is that verify the GeM verification of GeM coordinator. He can verify. Then registration of SHG and or the individual members can be done using this link. This link given underline in the red underline, you can see that options like the following details you can see. You can select for a SHG or the individual. Once he is identified the SHG here, that you can see once you enter the mobile number and the email ID of that particular entrepreneur, then it has to be verified using the OTP received on the mobile and the email ID. This is mandatory for this to save this screen. Unless you have verified the email ID and mobile number, it will not allow to save in this screen. Any of the entrepreneur will not allow to save here. Then the edit of identified SG, there is also a provision. You can edit. You can edit their account details, you can edit their address, you can edit their mobile number and email ID for the whether it's a SHG or it's a individual that can be verified. This updation things once you click on the edit, you can update it here. Following details can be updated which are not blocked. After, if you are changing any mobile number on the email ID, again it has to be verified through the OTP. If any mobile number or email ID of any the entrepreneur gets changed, it has to be updated and again it has to be verified through the OTP. Then once it is verified, again the updated information shared with the GeM team for continue further. So there are few reports is available on this particular GeM activity. You can, that is, you can log in, you can see these reports under the NRLM MIS portal. You can go to that portal and you can go to the reports page, and there is a two reports. One is about the registration of the GeM coordinators and the SHG, and other things is the like the SHG and product on the GeM who are registered in the GeM. One report regarding the registration, that you can see it here by state wise. Number of districts has been identified, the GeM coordinators, and also the GeM coordinators email and mobile number verified. In these two columns you can see, this in two columns, the number of identified GeM coordinator and also the number of blocks has been verified, the email ID and the mobile number through the OTP, that you can see. Now in the last two columns, the number of SHG for that and is for the state, whoever done it is at the block level, that you can see it here. Then similarly, as an individual member, as an individual SHG members, how many members, such individual members being registered, that you can see it here. In the next report, here the state wise, you can see it here, that how many entrepreneurs being registered, like as a individual or maybe as a group, how many members, how many entrepreneurs being registered, and entrepreneurs registered with GeM. So how many such entrepreneurs which are registered on the GeM, that also being shared. Like once the data is being shared, that block level, that entrepreneurs can also be registered on the GeM. So how many such entrepreneurs are pending to be registered on with GeM, that can also be seen here. And pending for data consumption by GeM, means as I told, the data we are sharing electronically to with the GeM team. They are consuming the data from the NRLM MIS, automatically it is being shared and they are consuming. So if any error found for the data consumptions, this and the last column you can see it here, how many such entrepreneur being there is some error to registered on the GeM. So that's all. Any doubt, any of the state, you can raise the question. I can go to the respective slides and clarify. Yeah, please, any question?
Hello. Sir, this is Sindil from Tamil Nadu.
Yes, please.
Sir, in Tamil Nadu, we have one issue for getting mails and OTPs. In this regard, we are all the time we are going to follow our state level nodal officer. Is it possible to give the edit and remove option for a state level coordinators, GeM coordinators?
That means you are saying that the verification for the GeM coordinator verification you are saying?
Yes, GeM coordinators verification, edit and remove. These are the options we required. It's only on
GeM
state
coordinator
nodal officers.
verification.
It's only by nodal officers, na?
Yes, yes. It
That's
is
the
with the nodal officer.
Yes. No, I'm not a nodal officer. I'm a state coordinator.
State GeM coordinator.
Yes, I'm requesting to get these options, edit and remove, because our most of the time our SHG members are black coordinators. They change their mobile number, email numbers. On the time we are going to contact our state nodal officer.
No.
They are always busy.
For the
That's why.
yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I got. Yes, I am clarifying you the verification of the
not only verification.
Let me clarify.
Edit or remove.
Clarify this. Yes. I'm yes. At the state level.
Yes.
For the MIS model, as per our MIS structure, we have one like nodal person for the so that is the like whatever the new additional activity we are adding at the state level and which are only one time activity, those activity we are giving to the particular MIS person to handle. Okay. Like it's only one time activity to identify the GeM coordinators and verify their email ID and mobile number, right? It's only one time activity, and very rare this our GeM coordinators will get changed, means transferred from one district to another district, or maybe one from one block to another block. So these are the very rare activity. Like transfer will not in that much frequency that it will not handle by this state. For the mobile number and the email ID gets changed for the SHG and the SHG member, what you are saying, that is available at the block level only.
Not in SHG.
No. Yes, that for
just
the,
a minute,
for the SHG and the member.
Not only
mobile
SHG
number or the email ID, that activity can be done of GeM coordinator. It will not come to the state directly.
Correctly.
It can be done by the block GeM coordinator.
That is available at the black level also. I am asking for a district coordinators and a black coordinators in a HR. I'm asking for the option for edit and verify edit and remove option for black coordinators and the district coordinators. If it's possible, please provide.
No, as of now, this activity we have given to the state nodal officer. We will see how it will be feasible to the we will see how it will be feasible to provide this option to the state GeM coordinator. Okay, whether he will able to manage these things or not.
Yes, please try it if it's possible.
Yes, because this transferring of these NRLM staff is not that much frequency, right? Otherwise, what will happen? So that person who gets trained to the person who gets trained to handle the GeM activity, if he will transfer in your products and how will handle these your products, the orders and other things, how will handle, because this GeM coordinator has to be managed at the that entire cycle of the products, all the orders to be executed, all this product delivery, all other things has to be handled by the block GeM coordinators. So please don't allow them to transfer in that much frequency.
Okay, yeah, I think Senthil, your query is answered, and they will also explore if possible to modify these rights
Yes,
in future.
yes, please. If it's possible.
We will take remaining questions after the presentation by GeM. Maybe let us invite GeM team to present their new things. Donna, who will be presenting now? Ramesh
Yeah,
from GeM?
Donna has dropped out, I suppose. This is Ramesh here.
Yeah, Ramesh, you can
Yeah,
take over.
yeah. Thank you.
Shantanu, you will be there. Yeah, Shantanu, you will be there with us till the end of the session, no? In case if there are any further queries on this.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Ramesh, please.
Okay. Thanks, thanks, Rajiv sir. Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all the participants of the program. And in fact, that was a good presentation from Shantanu sir and Rajiv sir and Vinod sir for about the processes, for you to get registered on this portal. I mean, for you to get enroll yourself as various coordinators on this portal. That is a wonderful presentation. Yeah, so in my presentation, what I will be focusing on is to give you an overview of what GeM is. I think most of you would be aware of, but still, let us get into it and then have a complete overview of what GeM is and how you will be, regulated as a primary user and a secondary user in the system, and how the procurement process actually happens, how the order floats around, through GeM. That will be that I'll try to explain that. And I will end with how the invoice gets processed, right? So that these are the few things I would be covering as a part of this presentation. So I will now share my presentation. Just a moment. Is my presentation visible? Is my presentation visible?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yes, sir.
it is visible. Please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. So first things first, let me take you from the basics. Okay. Though you might have started working on GeM. GeM is a platform. It's a portal. GeM is an acronym for Government E-Marketplace. It is a one-stop portal for all the government procurements, be it central government, PSUs, state government, local bodies, constitutional bodies, etc. So it is a one-stop. I hope all of you would have gone ahead with on Amazon or Flipkart. Recently, you have a lot of offers also on those portals. So the basic difference between that and this would be in Amazon or Flipkart, anybody can go and buy, and anybody can go and sell on the portals like Amazon, Flipkart. Whereas on GeM, the buyers would definitely be government buyers. Okay, when I say government buyers, as I already indicated, it includes central, state, PSUs, and local bodies and constitutional bodies. Can the government sell on this? Yes, government can also sell on this. So government can be both buyers as well as sellers on this portal, whereas only the government can only be the buyers on the portal. The private bodies or private entities or even the SHGs cannot go and procure goods from GeM. So that's the basic fact. This portal was started off on 9th of August 2016, and we had gone through various versions of this portal. We are currently on the third version and proceeding towards the fourth version of this particular portal actually. So GeM is built around the GFR, which is the General Financial Rules, which is the Bible for central government institutions and organizations, which states that for the central government, it is mandatory for them to procure only from this portal. So which means that is the kind of opportunity we have got on this portal for the SHGs. Okay, so the entire government bodies, like central government, and for the PSUs, government is also mandated to procure only through GeM. And for state part, the state has got signed up with GeM. Various states across India have signed up with GeM. Close to around 35 states have already signed up an MOU with GeM, which means that they also come under the purview of the GFR Rule 149. So Rule 149 is one of the rules of GFR. We may not be discussing the other rules. So that mandates the government to procure from government bodies to procure only from GeM actually. So this particular portal aims at efficiency, transparency, and inclusiveness specifically. When we say inclusiveness, it means that it is not the portal only for the biggies. It is a portal for even the smallest of small. So smallest of small SHGs can also come on this portal and get the benefits out of it actually. So basically this portal is totally cashless, contactless and paperless. Okay, so that is what it is aiming, and this shows you the footprint of GeM across India. Currently we have 35 states which have signed 35 states and union territories which have signed MOUs with GeM. In fact, the one on the white, which is Rajasthan, has also signed. Rajasthan and Karnataka has also signed MOU. We are left with only Kerala, and Kerala is also expected to sign anytime. So almost 35 states have signed up MOU with GeM, which means that brings the states also under the purview of GeM. So why I'm telling all this is that is the kind of opportunity GeM is posing for the various kind of buyers and its inclusive nature actually. GeM is connected with all the governmental platforms which is listed above: the MSMEs, the income tax, the GST, MSCA, MCA 21, Aadhaar, and all these databases. GeM is traveling with those associations on the left, the CII, CSC, etc. We are conducting a lot of programs for, other than this NRLM related programs. We are also having a lot of programs conducted for MSEs through these associations. GeM is also partnered with those banks which are on the right, or for the EPBG and EMD perspective, on those perspectives. Here's the statistics for you. Currently, as we speak, 71,856 crores is the worth of transactions that has happened on GeM as we speak, actually. And the kind of transaction the government is looking at is around 4.5 lakh crores to 5 lakh crores, which does not include the works part of it, but it includes the product and services alone. That is the kind of market GeM is targeting now. And close to around 50 lakh orders have already been processed. And around 8.5 lakh sellers and service providers have already been onboarded. Close to around 17.5 lakh products have already been uploaded on this particular portal. GeM works on the concept of categories actually. So if you have noticed, with respect to SHGs, we will be focusing only on those 5 categories which has already been mentioned by Santanu sir actually, right? Santanu sir and Rajiv sir also. So we have close to around 7,000 categories, but for SHGs we'll be focusing only on those 5 categories. So buyers, we have close to around 48,000 buyers. And please note, out of those 71,856 crores, out of this, close to around 58% of this has come in only from MSME. The transactions have come in only from MSME. So that is the kind of empowerment this portal is providing for MSMEs and small players. So these are the I would like to touch upon the advantages for the people who are getting registered on this portal actually. So earlier days, it was difficult for people to have a direct access to the government departments. So this portal provides a direct access to all the buyers, for those 45,000 buyers who have got already registered on this portal. GeM is a portal. Okay, so it's a platform where you have buyers and sellers, buyers on one side and sellers on the other side, getting registered onto this platform, and the procurement happens on this platform actually. So we have various procurement processes like direct purchase, bidding, and reverse auction. I think the SHGs mostly you will be circling around the direct purchase, but bidding and reverse auction process is also available in the portal actually. The pricing is pretty dynamic. You can change the price at any point in time. While if you have uploaded the product once, the features cannot be modified, but the price can be modified at any point in time actually. There is a strong vendor rating system that is available in GeM, both on the buyer as well as on the seller perspective, because this is being provided by the system. And now of late, new feature has come in wherein the buyers can also provide feedbacks around the sellers, which will also get appended to the feedback that the system is generating around actually. So we have a strong vendor rating system that is available. Similarly, a buyer rating system is also available in the portal. New products have to be uploaded predominantly through the buyers, but now there's a new feature called crowdsourcing which is coming up in 4.0, where the sellers can vouch for the new products that they wanted to get uploaded onto this portal actually. Beautiful seller-friendly dashboards are available, and any kind of news or events that are happening on this portal we keep sending a regular updates on this section, news and event section, where anybody can go and look at it. Actually, the new on GeM is the area where GeM posts the new features that are coming up in GeM, both on the buyer as well as in the seller perspective, where you can go and get yourself updated, basically. So these are the typical advantages for sellers, actually. So this is the procurement options that are available, though less than 25,000, which is direct purchase option, is only the option currently I think you may be looking at. But you have 3 categories out there. There is a procurement threshold that has been set, that is 25,000, 5 lakhs. Less than 25,000, it's always direct purchase and bidding and reverse auction. Between 25,000 and 5 lakhs, there's a L1 purchase and bidding and reverse auction, and above 5 lakhs, it's always the bidding and reverse auction process. PSC buying is also there, where you can go for specific brand of products, where which is called as proprietary article buying. This screen, this particular slide is relevant only to the buyers, but I think it's good to understand as a seller also as to what are the various features that are available in this portal, actually. So intent of buying PSC is for the specific brand buying, and of course intent of buying is in GeM, at least one product should be available for in the portal, so that you can go and make a bid around it. The buyer can go and make a bid around it. Otherwise, it is not possible to make a bid. Now, there's a new feature that has come up in GeM, which is called as a custom bids. I think which may not be relevant to you because you will be focusing more on the 25,000 segment, basically. So you have 3 categories: less than 25,000, between 25,000 and 5 lakhs, and above 5 lakhs. Okay, so these are the various procurement processes that are there in GeM, which will typically be done by the buyers, but you need to get on top of that to understand how we can process the the orders, basically. Okay, in GeM, in sellers, on the seller's perspective, we will have 2 types of sellers, which are called as a primary seller and a secondary seller. So once you get yourself registered in GeM, you will be called as a primary seller, and the primary seller can typically create multiple secondary sellers. So now let's quickly look at how it goes well with the SHG part. See, with respect to the SHG, the SHG and the SHG individuals, will become the primary user. So typically, the SHG leader registers as a primary user in NIC database, and SHG will be identified with the state codes to sell under the state brands. SHG GeM account will be managed by the secondary sellers or the BMM. Okay, the payment for orders will be fulfilled or will be made directly from the individual SHG bank account, which will be registered, actually. So this is how the primary user operation will look like in the SHG setup, actually. And of course, the secondary users typically will be the block machine manager, BMM. So they will have the complete control. They will be registered as a secondary user in this database. And see, you will be able to have only one primary user in the system, and you can have multiple secondary users in the system. That's allowed in GeM. So typically, the SHG or SHG individuals will be registering as a primary user, and the block machine manager will be registering as a secondary user. So the BMM registers as a secondary user in NIC database, and BMM log into GeM using the secondary user credentials and perform the product catalog management, basically upload the products, list the price, fulfill the orders, and assist in inventory management. And typically, the generation of invoices aligned with the third-party logistic providers with SHGs is also done by the BMMs, basically. So this is how the setup will be there in your case, basically, where the primary users will be SHG or SHG individuals, and the secondary user will be block machine manager. So that's how the primary user and secondary user setup will be in your. See, basically, the objective of doing this in a normal environment is that the primary user will allocate or depute the secondary users with various activities. Now here, the secondary user is taking over the complete activity. The primary user will be the initiator of that, basically. So that's how it's going to be. So now there are a lot of new features there in GeM, but let me not go into all the features, but some features I'll be touching upon. In GeM, if you're going to if your product is going to be under any of your categories in most, see, there are 4 quadrants that are available, but let us not worry about these things because you are going to have only those 5 categories. Okay, so those 5 categories are already been listed, and you will be working on those 5 categories only. But to understand the overall of this portal, so you have four quadrants, wherein GeM is putting all the whitelisted OEMs under quadrant 1, the products like desktops, laptops under quadrant 2, and the furnitures, office equipment under quadrant 3, and the normal routine sanitation and stationary equipment under quadrant 4. This you need not worry because your category is already listed. Okay, there are price reasonability tools which are available for the buyers, so buyers can compare the trend of the products of the various purchases made by various buyers at the the same product being purchased by different buyers at different locations. Up to the 9 buyers, they'll be able to see it. They will also be able to compare the products with respect to Amazon or Chroma or any of the online sites, and they can also compare the products within the portal also. See, these are the various reasonability tools which are available for the buyers. This we have already discussed, rating of sellers, and it is done by the, and now in 4.0 they are including in such a way that the buyers can rate the sellers, which those ratings will also be included as a part of this automatically generated ratings. Actually, just as the sellers are getting rated, buyers are also getting rated. Please note. So if the payments are delayed, if they make more number of payments delayed, maybe to the tune of 30 payments, they will be categorized as a red buyer. So if they are going to be a red buyer who is going to make an order, the seller, even if he's going to default, if he's not going to accept the order, okay, there's no penalty that's going to happen on this seller. So such kind of things or benefits are provided, or penalties are provided against the various levels actually. So what I'm trying to tell you here is there is also a rating that is available for the buyers too, just as it is available for the sellers. So there is an incident management system that is there. Any kind of a contractual violation, okay, that happens in the system can be reported through incident management. So when I say contractual violation, an order gets placed, and if the seller rejects, okay, the buyer can raise any incident against the seller. Similarly, if the payment is not done by the buyer, so the seller can initiate or trigger the incident. So incident will be arbitrated by GeM, and it will be closed by GeM basically. So there are two types of incidents that could be created. One could be the pre-contractual, the other could be post-contractual. In the case of pre-contractual incident, any kind of a product which is found faulty can be reported by the peer or by the buyer actually. So there will be a product link which is called as report this product near the product listing actually. You will find this link. So that any buyer or any seller who found it fishy, who found the product fishy, can go and report it, and it will be registered as an incident in GeM, and GeM authorities will appropriately look into it. So there are two kinds of incidents, as I indicated, the pre-order incidents and the post-order incidents actually. See, there's a third party which is also involved in with GeM, which is called as Quality Council of India. They do the vendor assessment, but I think for SHG, vendor assessment is not relevant, so I am just skipping this. So now we jump into the registration process actually. So with respect to the registration process, I think you have designed a beautiful system, and because it is aptly explained by Rajesh sir and Santanu sir. So you have a beautiful system where you have your registration done on your portal, and that will with that the link will be shared with SHG, and the registration will be created. So registration process is not the normal process which you are doing, but with the these are the normal steps which you'll be doing. I'm skipping all those because you have the registration process done within your site. So I'm see, basically if you look at it, there are 3 stages: the registration, the second one is the brand, the third one is the product upload. So registration process will happen through the backend. So through your online system, it will go to the GeM, and the link will be shared, and the registration process will happen. And the second process will be the brand. You will operate on the state level brand. See, like for Kerala, I think you have Kudumbashree. So like that, you have many brands for each and every state, and the state level branding will apply there. So that will be the second part. And the third part is your the product upload. So these are the normal flows which are shown there. I'm skipping all those which may not be relevant to you, so that's why I'm skipping all those. So I straight jump into the product upload. So the product upload process starts here. So you have the catalog. You click on the catalog, and there are two links which are called as products or services. Predominantly you'll be working on the products only. See, GeM is also for services also, right? So there are close to around 173 services that are available, like housekeeping, sanitation, things like that. And a lot of new services have evolved now, actually, cab hiring, things like that. So services are also available on GeM. Okay, so products are also there. So whichever you want to upload, of course, predominantly in your case, it would be the products only. So click on the products, add new offering, and you will land here. So you will have to select the category name here, which would be typically those 5 categories. Okay, and one of those 5 categories. So you select that, and once you select that, you automatically the other combo boxes will be filled in. Okay, and once you get into that, you will be asked to enter the details of the brand you have to select, and you will be asked to enter the details of the technical details of the product. Okay, so that you have to provide once the brand is provided. So you provide the technical details around the product. Once that is provided, you will be asked to upload 3 images of the product. Typically, it's good to have high resolution images. I mean, it is good to have a image with the background. A decent image should be sufficient. I think Rajesh sir, in fact, during his presentation, pointed out that you have problems in uploading the images. I think if you have a fair picture with a white background, I think that should go through. So 3 images will have to be shared in different angles, front, back, up, whatever. So once that is done, you will have to submit the this one. You have to publish the product. Once the product is published, okay, so what happens is that it has to be approved by GeM. Okay, GeM has to approve it. So once GeM approves it, the product is live onto the system, basically. So that is how the product uploads happen in this portal, actually. These are the various technical things you need to enter, and you have to upload. See, there's a guideline that is also available for uploading of the product. So you can read through those guidelines, and you can upload, the product in the 3 different angles, basically. So once you do that, you will have the terms and conditions coming up for you. You may have to read those terms and conditions and then click on this checkbox. And once you do that, your product gets published. So once you publish your product, what happens is that it will go into the waiting for admin clearance tab. It will go there, actually. So it will say waiting for admin clearance. So once GeM authorities approve this product, it will move into published. So once the product moves into the published status, this product is ready. You can go ahead and the product is out in the market. It can be accessed by all those 45,000 buyer organizations across India, and you may expect orders around that. So whenever an order is going to be placed, it is going to come into your login, and you can process the order, basically. So similarly, the products, as we do products, services can also be done. I'm just going to run through because this may not be slightly relevant for you, but still, you may have a look at that. So this is how you add the service. Okay. So once you do that, there ends the cataloging part, and your product is out there in the market. So now, the buyers can log into that, and they can actually place the order, and whatever orders they are going to place, it is going to come into your login, and you can process the order. Okay, so the bid is also, this is the second method I was talking about, the direct purchase, bidding, and reverse auction. So bid is something which you may not be doing, but still I'll try to explain that. See, whenever a bid is created by a particular buyer with a specific category, okay, registered by the seller, so that particular seller will be getting input or information about that bid. So this is how the bidder screen will look like, and once you go into the list of bids, they'll be able to see all the bids that they have registered in, and they can go and participate in those bids actually. So they may have to participate and they may have to provide the details, offer the price. Okay, and once they that's the process. So they offer the price and quantity and amount, and of course the bid document gets created. And once you agree on the terms and conditions and submit the OTP. See, in GeM, what happens is that we don't have the concept of signing. We don't have the concept of digital signing also, a signature also. We only have something called as e-signature. That is precisely the reason why your Aadhaar details will be taken at the beginning. Okay, so Aadhaar or PAN at the time of the registration. So the digital signature is what GeM works on, which is called as e-signature actually. So for any transaction you do in GeM, it has to go through e-signature. So withdrawal of bid can also be done. You just click on withdraw and give reasons. The bid can be withdrawn. That's also possible, and it can be done only once. So after you withdraw, you will not be able to participate in the bid actually. So before I explain the invoice generation process in GeM, I would like to quickly take you through how an order traverses in GeM. So you need to understand that so that we'll be able to appreciate invoice processing. So the first step in GeM is the order is being placed by the buyer. Assume that an order is placed for 25,000 rupees, a direct purchase. So order gets placed by a buyer. It comes into the seller login. Seller can see the order, and he can select it, and he can accept it basically. So basically the seller has to accept it or reject it, or if he keeps quiet, GeM automatically cancels the order, okay, after 3 days. So there are 3 things that can happen. He can accept, he can reject, or he can keep quiet. If he keeps quiet, what happens is that GeM automatically rejects the order after 3 days. And if he says no, so be it. So the order gets cancelled. And if the bidder says yes, or the supplier says yes, okay, then the order continues. Then after the specified number of days, the supplier delivers the goods to the buyer, and he generates the invoice. The invoice generation happens within the system, and once the invoice gets generated, it goes to the buyer side, and the buyer accepts the product, and he provides the PRC. PRC is provisional receipt of the product, which means the product has reached him basically. So once that is done, 10 days from that, the buyer is supposed to provide the CRAC, which is consignee receipt and acceptance certificate, which is basically the acceptance of the product basically. So once the acceptance is done, the next stage is the payment. So payment happens 10 days after the CRAC. So this is the process flow. Actually, this is how the order gets traversed. And as I told you earlier, in any of these situations or any of these steps, if there's going to be an issue, the incident can be raised by either party. It could be depending upon who is the victim. If the seller is going to be a victim, seller can raise the incident. Or if the buyer is going to be the victim, buyer can also raise the incident. And the arbitration is typically done by GeM. So this is the overall flow of the order, how the order gets traversed in GeM actually. So now let us get into the invoice processing part, how the invoice will be processed. So once the order comes in, the seller or the supplier accepts the order. It goes into his login only. He doesn't have to go out. It is within the login only. So it has to be accepted. Once it has to be accepted, the OTP has to be provided. Okay, so order gets accepted, and the invoice generation happens. The type of dispatch, date of dispatch, the tracking number, whatever details, the bank details will have to be filled in. And you can preview the order, the invoice, and once you preview it, you can create the invoice also. So this is how the invoice gets created in the system. And once the invoice gets created, it gets into the consignee side. PRC to be given by the consignee, CRAC to be given within 10 days from that PRC date, and 10 days from the CRAC, the payment will be given by the payment authority, and it gets deposited to the payment account given by the primary user. Okay, the primary user's account, whatever that is given in the registration process, the amount gets credited there. So this is this pretty much is the overall process of how the order gets traversed in this portal actually. So we have various capacity building programs like Classroom. This being a Corona time, so we are adopting more to webinar mode. We create master trainers also. who can take it up within their organizations. And all the training materials which are there, it's all available in GeM also in YouTube, which can be accessed from the GeM website. Okay, so we also have LMS, the learning management system, which it can be accessed by through your login itself. Through your GeM login, you will be able to access the LMS. You will be able to do the certifications. Silver certification, gold certification can also be done through the LMS system. So these are the various capacity building measures taken by GeM, basically. This is the support channel. We are working omni. So you have so you can access the FAQs in GeM, which is available on GeM. See, there are certain things which you can go through, which can improvise your knowledge around this portal. You can go through the FAQs. You can write to help desk if any queries or questions or any problems you face. Through GeM portal, we have something called as Ask Me Jemmy, which is a chat bot, which is newly created in GeM. It's a new feature which can be used, which can be used. It is based on the artificial intelligence and machine learning. It is built around those technologies. So you can use those Ask Me Jemmy to improvise your knowledge and also have a live chat with the. You can also have a live chat with the support desk executives actually. So Ask Me Jemmy is 24/7 assistant. It's an online assistant. You may go through that. It's available on the GeM website. Okay, so you can also access 1-800 numbers for any of the support queries you have. That's the number is flashing on your screen. From Monday to Saturday, you will be able to connect with the GeM support executives. So that brings to the end of my presentation. So I hand over the floor to Rajesh sir for the further proceedings. Thank you, sir. Thank you, team. Rajesh sir, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Ramesh, for this wonderful presentation. Very crispy, covering all the aspects. Now, I will request the state teams to put in the queries which they have related to the recent presentation. And otherwise, also, if we have missed out anything and you have some issues to discuss about, please raise. Please raise your hand.
Rajesh sir, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rajesh sir, I would also like to highlight that. I'll also like to highlight that we have GeM business facilitators across India. Okay, so whichever location you are there. Okay, so be it if it's going to be Tamil Nadu or Puducherry, I am the person. For Kerala, you have Manish Mogan is also online. So for Kerala, Manish Mogan is the person. Likewise, we have business facilitators across India. So depending upon the location, you can approach these people. So we'll be happy to guide you on any of the issues you are facing.
Aren't there anything to be discussed here? I am requesting the SRLMs. If you have any specific query, you can put in here. So the other states may also learn from that. That's nice that we don't have any query. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Very much audible. Yeah.
I'm not hearing anything from anybody. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Shantanu.
I think it is clarified all their doubts. I think that is why they have no questions to raise.
Yeah, it means that.
So
Yeah, one
GST
more
is
thing I would
mandatory
like to.
for all SHG products. GST registration. Hello.
For registering the products on GeM, it is not mandatory. It has been exempted. But yes, as per GST rules, while you sell the product, there may be requirement. But for posting the products on GeM, it is not mandatory.
Okay. It's also in service service sector. Sir, any exemption in service sector?
No exemption. But for posting the products here, we have not kept any such condition.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
See, after this session is over, I will request the state and the district coordinators to have a word with their GeM facilitator, GeM business facilitator of their state, and arrange similar sessions for their block coordinators as well. So, shall we conclude this session here now?
Acha, Rajiv, I think any issue from the Tamil Nadu side, because the only 9 districts GeM coordinator they have identified, and out of these 9, only 5 has been verified. Is there any specific issue for Tamil Nadu?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, here no issues to identify and verifying. Here it's in a process, sir. We'll do it.
No, why? No, see, this is even, I think, initiated since long. Only out of the, even at the district GeM coordinator, only 9 district has been identified so far. And only 5 out of the 9. But in terms of the block, if you look at 138 blocks has been identified, and out of the 138, only 52 is verified.
We are working. We'll do it.
No.
We'll do.
No, since when you are working? Since last 1 month or prior to that?
We'll do it, sir. We'll complete in next 15 days.
Similarly for Telangana also, out of these 131 blocks, only 23 blocks has been verified so far. Any specific issue still with Telangana? I think Telangana team is also here.
Yeah, Shantanu, we are here. No issue,
So any
Shantanu. We are
specific
in the
issue?
process. So,
No, I don't think so. It is that much process involved to verify their mobile number and email ID. It's out of 131, only 23 is verified, and only 5 individual members registered so far. Have you trained your block GeM coordinators from the state? Have you organized any training program for the block GeM coordinators? I think
Telangana team, please respond.
Rajiv, I think it's a serious issue that the state people, those are being trained here, they are not organizing, they are not providing training to their block GeM coordinators. I hope it has to be organized, the training program for the block GeM coordinator, because the most of the activity they have to do means the verification and also the identification of the SHG and the individual members. I don't know whether they have organized such training program for the block GeM coordinators or not. That is why it is being not progressing that in that way what we are expecting.
Yeah, it appears so. See, I'm requesting again to all the states who are present here to organize the sessions for their block coordinators in collaboration with the GeM facilitators, GeM business facilitators from their state. Please do that. Plan your schedules and also inform us and on which date you are conducting these training sessions for the block coordinators. Telangana team, Tamil Nadu team, Kerala team, I'm requesting you all.
Sure, sir. We'll do it.
Sure, sure.
Okay, fine. Then let us conclude the
Okay, it's a
session
good
here.
platform. It's a yes, Rajiv. I think it's a good platform. Please, all state SRLMs, please. It's a good platform for our SHG and their members. They can introduce their products in the government marketplace to sell the registered wire. Now they are selling to the governments. That's not the public. They are selling. It's selling to the government entity. So it's important to highlight their products to the offices.
Yeah, please initiate
And
the
already they
campaign
are.
at the state level. Yeah,
Rajiv, you
initiate
can
that campaign.
highlight. I think few SHG got orders also, right, Rajiv? Few SHG they
Yes,
got
yes.
orders.
There are
Some SHG they
10,
got orders from Odisha.
Odisha has got the orders, Rajasthan has got, Kerala has got. So others have to catch up. Please initiate the publicity campaign through your chief secretary or secretary RD. You write to all the other ministries and the departments.
In Kerala, we
Uh,
completed block coordinator training on GEM registration and all.
o- okay. So you can do a refresher if it was done long back. You can do a refresher again. Okay.
Yeah, as per the report says that is out of the 13 district of Kerala, 9 district has verified, and out of these 116 blocks has been identified. Out of 151 blocks in Kerala, 116 blocks has identified the GeM coordinator, and out of these 116 blocks, only 101 blocks has been verified. But the products in terms of the identification of SHG and verification of this SHG and individual members, 70 SHG and 181 individual members has been identified and verified. I think in terms of the identification of SHG and all, that has been good by Kerala. But identification and verification in terms of the blocks, please you can have the other blocks as well. Yeah. Yes, Rajiv, you
Fine.
can conclude the session for today.
Yeah.
If any no query.
Yeah. Thank. Fine. Fine. I think there are no further queries from anybody. So thank you so much, the GeM team, Ramesh, Shantnu,
Thank you, sir.
and all my colleagues from the states. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
So,